Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather Tropical Edition. It's great to have you here, and we're going to take a look at what's going on with Hurricane Lee. The storm has been all over the map come day 6 or 7, but it looks like both models might be honing in on a potential solution here, and they're very close together as of today, unlike yesterday when the Euro went a bit crazy far west. And we'll be looking at a potential system out here by the Cape Verdes. This one actually could become our next tropical storm. Could this become Tropical Storm Nigel? And could it affect North America? We'll take a look at that and more in this edition. Let's get into it. Infrared satellite of Lee. Yeah, looking much better organized today. You can start to see that eye. The convection hasn't wrapped completely around it, but you can see it looks a lot more symmetrical than it did the other day. So yeah, the wind shear is slowly weakening here, heading well north of the leeward and windward islands here. So take a look at this as we head towards a side shot of this. You can see all those convective high cloud tops wrapping around this system very nicely as we head around all 4 quadrants of this system. It has beautiful ventilation here. Yeah, this system has a lot going for it. Lots of convection wrapping around this system. So starting off with the European model here, you can see Hurricane Lee, high pressure dominating here to the north, keeping this on a west-northwesterly jaunt here. As we continue to go in time, this system's going to re-strengthen back into Category 4, safely heading just to the north of the Leeward Islands here. So this is great news. For those of you across the south here, southern part of the Caribbean, from Trinidad and Tobago northward here, along the Lesser Antilles to the Leeward Islands, yeah, you're definitely just looking at higher wave action, some beach erosion, that sort of thing. But that will be calming down as the system starts to head away from, your longitude here. So that's great news. Category 4 through the 12th here, ramping up possibly 145 mile per hour, maybe 150. But Category 5 might be a bit of a stretch for the system to achieve by this point. So if we just zoom out just a tad here, you can start to see on the 13th is when we start to see the system take a more northerly turn. This high pressure retreating to the northeast here over Newfoundland. That's going to continue towards the northeast. You can see the trough digging in across the east coast here. And that's when we're going to start to see the system round the bend here, so to speak. Now, I caution you, look at this. This is the 14th. This is going to take it much closer to the island of Bermuda. The only good news is it looks like the core of the strongest winds. Here we go. It's weakening to a Category 2 by the 14th here, just west of Bermuda. So this thing is going to be heading into slightly cooler waters. And then a Category 1 by the 15th. By any stretch of the imagination, though, this is still a very powerful system, even by then. 974 millibars, it looks like. So this is the 16th. Now, previous European run had this system coming over here and making landfall in Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. It looks like with this run, now if we continue to go in time here, you can see where the area of high pressure is going to set up. It's right to the north of Newfoundland here and Nova Scotia. So that's a bit further to the east. That's going to allow the system to slide up a bit more to the east here instead of making landfall on this run in New England. You can see, unfortunately, it has its eye more set on Nova Scotia here. 17th at 8 a.m. Now, you're still going to see with this kind of solution, outer bands reaching Cape Cod, southeastern Massachusetts, all the way up to eastern Maine. Tremendous winds, beach erosion, heavy waves. That's going to be a thing. But the big story here is going to be Nova Scotia. It's looking like, and I'll show you momentarily on the GFS, it's looking like both models are wanting to landfall this right into Nova Scotia. Look at this on the 17th at 8 p.m. Halifax over to Liverpool. That's where the center looks like it's coming in on this model run. And then it accelerates to the northeast as we head on into the 18th and heading way up into the Canadian Maritimes by this point. So yeah, this is going to become a problem. I still don't think, Eastern New England's completely off the hook of this, but this is more encouraging news for you. Less so if you live in Eastern Maine and Nova Scotia at this point. So as we take a look at the GFS model, let's compare here. Yeah, this looks like a very formidable storm. It is on the up again, increasing back to a Category 4. GFS taking this a little bit northeast of guidance here. Let's just do a bird's eye view here. And as you can see, as we head towards the 12th and the 13th, looking very formidable. Look how close it comes to Bermuda. GFS actually taking, at this point, as we head towards the 14th, a little bit west of guidance. This is a bit curious. Let's see how this holds on, this model run, in the latest GFS. So as we continue to go in time here, take a look at this. So yeah, this is accelerating towards the due north here. You can see the GFS has the area of high pressure way over here into the North Atlantic, well east of Newfoundland here. So this one's bringing it up a bit further to the west. That's a little concerning, but it still looks like the center of circulation remains to the east of New England. However, this is a bit closer. You know, the European was much closer yesterday. Now the GFS is kind of pushed a little bit further to the west at this point. So let's just zoom out. The area of the high pressure, though, is the same now as it is on the European model. So that is encouraging. It looks like we're starting to maybe converge on a solution here, which would be great news. The only bad thing here is, look at this. Yeah, this is a very similar solution here. September 17th at 5 a.m., it looks like the GFS is wanting to landfall this well west of Halifax over by Shelburne and Liverpool. So both models now taking a landfall right into Nova Scotia. And as it really accelerates it as we head on into the 18th, of that high pressure retreats well to the north. So yeah, it looks like the models may be honing in on a solution, but if you still live into, you know, parts of the Mid-Atlantic and especially eastern New England here, I want you to continue to stay tuned because things can change. We're still about 6 to 7 days out here. So the intensity of Lee here, modeling taking it up towards Category 4 again before bringing it down to 3, probably just around 60 to 72 hours out, and then eventually down towards a 2, and I expect at landfall this storm to be a 1. And sea surface temperatures just really toasty. Bath water across the MDR. We do have some cooler pockets here that could affect Lee. That could bring it down to a Category 2 or even a 1 prior to landfall. So thanks to Tropical Tidbits for our mid-layer dry air analysis here. You can see, yeah, there it is. Lee blowing up here. Here's Hurricane Margot out here as well. This is not going to be a thing to anybody except shipping lanes and fish, essentially. Another fish storm. So as we head towards, say, the 14th Thursday into the 15th, heading just west to Bermuda, you don't see a whole lot of dry air getting sucked into the system. It seems to have its act together. There's that trough kicking in across the East Coast. Dry air behind it. There is the trough setting up that's basically bringing the pattern of where Lee could actually move. So that moisture train is kind of an indication of how far westward that system could move. And you can see Sunday, September 17th, you do see a little bit of a jaunt on this to the westward. I still caution you in eastern New England, please keep an eye on this. But so far, it looks like today the model runs are a bit more optimistic on retreating that high. There it is, Nova Scotia, the Canadian Maritimes. Unfortunately, it takes you a direct hit. Here's our next system that could become Nigel. We'll keep an eye on it here for you. And taking a look at the rest of the Atlantic here, you can see we have these couple of systems here, Invest 97L, and then another system here coming off the coast of Africa. This is the one here that could eventually become Tropical Storm Nigel. We'll have to keep an eye on this because this system eventually, as we head towards the September 15th, September 17th, here it is. Look what happens here. This is what the GFS does. I'll show you the European momentarily here, but you can see here it is. This is on the 17th, just as Lee made landfall. Look what happens here. Yeah, this is a bit concerning. This is pretty far out, but look at this. GFS is showing a very powerful hurricane just off the Carolinas here come the 23rd of September. And then bringing it up very close to the Mid-Atlantic here on the last frame. So we're going to watch this here. we may have something else to talk about here as we head towards the third week of September, but it's still very far out. So as we take a look at the European model here with potential for that Cape Verde system here, European does blow it up here towards the 17th. Here it is. Potential Nigel. What does the European do with this? It takes it much further north here. So, yeah, at this point, it's anybody's game. There's the European, and then the GFS was way over here. But if you look, in all respect, it's still the northwestern Atlantic here. So we're kind of talking about the same area. Both models are showing a system between the 17th and the 20th, so we have to watch this very closely. And taking a look at the rest of the tropics, if we take a look at the Gulf, as clear as a bell. The Caribbean, as we head through the 12th, the 13th, 14th, we go through a little bit of a dry period next week, or this week, I should say, from Jamaica over to the Cayman Islands. But, you know, as we head towards the 15th, the 16th, we're going to get some showers cropping up here. Chances of afternoon showers and thunder showers, so that'll help cool you off a bit. Big slug of moisture across the southern Caribbean as we head towards the 17th. Look at this. Some moisture heading up towards the 18th. So as we head towards, say, Monday of the next week, yeah, we could be looking at some showers and thunderstorm action. It looks like it's getting pretty active here across the eastern and central Gulf by the 19th as well. And taking a look at the Caribbean here as we head through the first and central part of this week, mostly just 20 millimeters or less. We're talking about 3/4 of an inch or less from Jamaica to the Cayman Islands. It's closer to, say, the 16th, 17th, 18th here. We start to pile on some rainfall closer to 40 to 50 millimeters. Right around that 1.5 to 2-inch mark. So that's some good news for you here. And as we head here towards the Lesser Antilles, everything from Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada on northward here to the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico. Yeah, there's Lee staying to the north. It looks really dry here across the Lesser Antilles, at least through Friday. Do we get any sort of rain? No. Look at Trinidad and Tobago down here. The Leeward, Windward Islands. Look at the Virgin Islands here, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico does get some, 40 to 60 millimeters, about 1.5 to 2 inches. But it's just not looking like a lot here. A lot of these tropical waves will be missing you. So as we head across the Western Pacific, our trusty European model here, is there anything to talk about out here? For the first time in weeks, I don't have too much. There is an area of low pressure that might try to form here by the 14th of September. Lots of moisture here across the northern and central Philippines. But it doesn't look like anything tropical is forming out of that at the moment. As you can see, as we continue to go in time, that low pressure moves northeast of Japan. Lots of moisture here, though, in Japan, but it doesn't look like, look at there in the Philippines as well as we head towards the 17th. Lots of tropical moisture to be had here. Looks like it's drying out in southeastern China here. But look at this. Just continuing to get lots of moisture, but it doesn't look like there's much actually to talk about. So taking a look at our future radar here. Here it is right around 8 and 9 p.m. here into the northeast. Yeah, it's looking pretty stormy again. I know you know this same old song and dance all the way up into New England, parts of the mid-Atlantic. You will be seeing some scattered strong thunderstorms. The big concern, though, is heavy rain in this region. So some of these gully washers could be down to 1 to 2 inches really easily in a short period of time. So we head towards 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. early Monday morning. We're still breaking out the rain here from the I-81 corridor eastward into the Hudson Valley up into northern New England. This is nothing new for you. You've been dealing with this pretty much all weekend into the weekend, and we're going to deal with it here Monday, September 11th. They're pushing up through the eastern Catskills, New York City, New Jersey, getting in on the act here. And as we head throughout the rest of the day on your Monday, it's just going to continue. Showers and thunderstorms start to fill in once again from I-81 corridor on eastward from New York and Pennsylvania. And we're going to deal with more gully washers cropping up here. Catskills, Poconos, Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey, eastern New Jersey, all the way up into New England. More scattered here down through parts of the mid-Atlantic there. And there's our last frame, 5 p.m. on Monday. Showers and thunderstorms, especially east of I-81. So as we take a look at your weather here for North America, including the United States and Canada, let's take a look here. High pressure's dominating central and eastern Canada here. That's That's some nice news. We've got some showers, thunderstorm activity here from the Ohio Valley, Midwest, eastward to the northeast. Just very unsettled here into the northeast. Here's our next storm moving in for the 12th as we head towards Tuesday. Big cold front here, area of low pressure, so watch out. More stormy weather is on the way. And look at that. That pushes through the Cleveland area into parts of New York and Pennsylvania as we head throughout 8 a.m. on Wednesday the 13th. But it looks like, with the exception for southern Quebec here in Ontario, most of Canada should be looking dry, except that we do have this area of low pressure up into northwestern areas of Canada. So high pressure building into the Ohio River Valley in the Midwest, western Great Lakes for your 14th into your 15th. That spreads to the east, finally shutting off that moisture train. But our next area of low pressure dropping down here across Ontario. So we got to watch out for that. It does look a bit moisture starved, however. Also up here over the Canadian Maritimes, another low pressure. The big story, though, as we head towards the 16th and the 17th is what happens with Hurricane Lee over here. You can see that area of high pressure blocking Lee initially, but retreating to the northeast and allowing the system to target extreme eastern Canada here, the Canadian Maritimes, and that heads up towards the 19th and the 20th, where we see, look at this, it's actually some unsettled weather here into parts of the southeast, some tropical moisture, and a front gets hung up here across parts of the southeast. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And could an area of low pressure be forming here? Could this be subtropical or tropical? We'll have to keep an eye on this. It is that time of year, September 20th. I have plenty more weather here. Stay tuned for the rest of my video, but I have a quick announcement here from my affiliate. Take a look at this. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. So as we take a look at liquid equivalent precipitation, it's mostly here across the east as we head through the early part of the week. You see the Ohio Valley's mostly dry until we get to about, say, Wednesday into Thursday. Look at the northeast, though. We get an initial shot here through the first part of the week, anywhere from a half to 3/4 of an inch of the I-95 corridor here. And then look at that. Come Wednesday, we blast up tropical moisture here. Look at this. This could be on the order of 2.5 to 4 inches of rain. We got to keep an eye on this. Thing is, though, it looks like Lee's staying east on this run. That's some good news. However, eastern Maine does get clipped with that 4 to as much as 8 inches of rain, something to keep an eye on. Here across Florida, look at this. This is with some tropical moisture as we go into the third week of September. Could we have something tropical brewing here? Wow, look at this. North central Texas and Oklahoma, an area of disturbed weather as well, bringing you upwards of 3.5 to 6 inches of rain. And as we take a look, zooming into the northeast, we head on into Sunday night and Monday. There is that rainfall falling from the I-81 corridor eastward, some areas here into central Pennsylvania as well. Look at this, though, as we head on into Wednesday. Surge of tropical moisture here from the south. Look at this. Yeah, there could be some flash flooding problems, especially if you're in any of these red zones. Look at this, from the eastern Catskills, Hudson Valley, down into Maryland, Delmarva up here, western New England, northern New England. I'm a bit concerned, 2.5 to 3.5 inches of rain here. That is a lot of rain to deal with. Here's Lee clipping eastern New England with 4, 5, 6 inches of rainfall here. So temperature-wise here for you, Monday, September 11th. Here we go. Lots of cool air here across the Great Lakes, 70s across the Ohio Valley into the northeast. That's looking really nice. We're knocking those triple digits down in Texas. Very good news. We're breaking that heat wave even further. 86 towards Dallas-Fort Worth for your Tuesday. But look at here across the Great Lakes. Upper 50s and lower 60s for highs. 70s here from the Ohio Valley to the northeast. Again, that's beautiful and temperate. We'll get towards Wednesday the 13th here. Look at that cool shot. 64 in Cleveland and Erie and Buffalo, Rochester. That's crazy. 90s continuing in Florida, but look at 90s get knocked down into South Texas here. And as we head towards the 14th here, that cool air just continues to spill across the east. Look at that 80-degree line all the way down into parts of the deep south. We're down into the 60s here into much of the northeast and Ohio valleys. We get towards Friday, September 15th. Look at this. Cool shot, but it is going to be warming trends. 70s creeping their way back in. Look at Texas. You haven't been this cool in a long time. Upper 70s across North Texas. And as we get towards Saturday, September 16th, look at this. Beautiful 70s all the way down into North Texas, parts of Georgia, and South Carolina. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton, Upper Susquehanna, River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania. Take a look at this. Monday through Friday. Yeah, Monday, it's mostly cloudy. There is a chance of a shower, thunderstorm. It will be cooler. Lower 70s for highs into your Tuesday. More chances of showers and thunderstorms. It will be low chance again, about 20 to 30% chance into your Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms likely. It looks like an all-day washout. Barely making it to 70. And look at this as we head towards Thursday and Friday. Look at those upper 40s. Good sleeping weather. Sunny skies setting in. Upper 60s to right around 70. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Take a look at my Facebook page at MeteoMark. Also Weather Northeastern. Also Hurricane Northeastern to follow the tropics. And if you want to hop over to my Twitter page, it's at Weather Eastern. It's MeteoMark.com. Thanks for joining me. Question or comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted when a video comes.